Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are bringing you important international news that involves President Cyril Ramaphosa and South Africa's growing ties with Japan. The president has officially touched down in Japan to take part in the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, better known as TICAD. This is a very significant event not just for South Africa, but for the entire African continent. Please make sure you listen right through until the end so you can hear the sources and try to verify the news for yourself. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates that matter to you. Now, let's break this down in a way that keeps things simple and relatable. The Tokyo International Conference on African Development, or TICAD, is one of the most respected platforms where African leaders come together with Japanese leaders, investors, and development partners to discuss ways of strengthening economic growth, trade, and social development across Africa. It is not just another international meeting that comes and goes, but one that actually helps shape Africa's long-term partnerships with Japan and beyond. President Ramaphosa's arrival in Japan is being seen as very important, especially at this time when South Africa is facing both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, the country is looking for ways to grow its economy, attract investment, and create more jobs. On the other hand, it is also dealing with internal struggles like high unemployment, inequality, and social pressure. International partnerships like this one could help create the opportunities the country needs to address some of these challenges. Reports suggest that the president will be holding several bilateral meetings with Japanese officials, including Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, as well as with top Japanese business leaders. This is a chance for South Africa to present itself as an attractive investment destination. Japan has long been interested in Africa's natural resources and economic potential, but more importantly, in building partnerships around innovation, technology, and sustainable development. For South Africa, this is a golden opportunity to strengthen its trade ties with one of the world's largest economies. TICAD is not only about investment, though. The discussions also focus on human development, peace and security, and sustainable growth. In recent years, Japan has worked closely with African nations to improve healthcare systems, expand access to education, and boost infrastructure development. For South Africa, aligning with Japan on these issues could bring not only financial benefits but also technical expertise and new opportunities for skills transfer. The timing of this visit is also quite notable. South Africa is currently under pressure to improve its energy situation, reduce unemployment, and attract more foreign investment. President Ramaphosa's government has been under heavy scrutiny from both the public and opposition parties about its ability to deliver on promises of growth and development. Attending TICAD gives him the chance to show leadership on an international stage, demonstrating that South Africa is serious about working with global partners to find real solutions. Thousands of South Africans are also watching closely to see whether this trip will bring tangible results back home. Many feel that too often international trips by leaders don't directly benefit ordinary people who are struggling with day-to-day issues such as the high cost of living, load shedding, and limited job opportunities. The hope this time is that deals made in Japan will translate into more investment in industries like manufacturing, renewable energy, mining, and information technology, all of which could open up new jobs. Japan itself is a key player in Africa's development story. Unlike some other global powers, Japan has built a reputation for investing in Africa in a way that emphasizes respect, mutual benefit, and long-term sustainability. It is not just about extracting resources but about helping African countries build capacity and resilience. South Africa's role in this larger partnership is especially important because it is often seen as a gateway for investment into the rest of the continent. President Ramaphosa is also expected to speak at some of the sessions, where he will highlight South Africa's priorities and push for deeper cooperation between Japan and Africa. Among the issues likely to be discussed are climate change, global health challenges, and improving regional stability. These are issues that affect not just Africa but the entire world, so South Africa's contribution to the discussions will carry weight. For South Africans back home, there will be interest in whether this visit results in new trade agreements or development projects. Japan has previously funded projects in Africa ranging from infrastructure to health programs, and there's optimism that South Africa could benefit from new commitments. The private sector in Japan is also very strong, and if South African businesses can build relationships with Japanese companies, it could lead to long-term investment flows. What makes TICAD different from other international conferences is that it is not a one-sided arrangement. African leaders have a strong voice here, and the platform is designed to ensure African countries have agency in shaping the terms of engagement. For South Africa, this is crucial because the country wants to be seen not just as a recipient of aid but as a strong partner with something to offer. Of course, critics have raised questions about whether these high-level meetings always deliver for the people on the ground. They argue that South Africans want to see actual job creation and reduce poverty, not just promises of future cooperation. The government will therefore be under pressure to ensure that this trip delivers real benefits, not just photo opportunities and speeches. In addition to the official meetings, there will also be opportunities for President Ramaphosa to engage with Japanese investors directly. These are the kinds of conversations that can open doors for South African businesses and industries, whether in automotive manufacturing, energy, mining, or digital technology. Given Japan's global leadership in technology and innovation, there's a lot South Africa can learn and benefit from in building its own industries for the future. At the end of the day, this trip is about building bridges and creating opportunities. South Africans will be hoping that when President Ramaphosa returns from Japan, he brings back more than just good memories and photographs. They want to see concrete agreements that lead to investments, job creation, and partnerships that make a real difference. And because we always like to end on a lighter note, let's just say we hope the president managed to enjoy some sushi while he was there, maybe even practice a little Japanese greeting to impress his host. Imagine Ramaphosa saying konnichiwa with a big South African smile. That would surely win him a few extra friends. And let's be honest, after a few hours of long speeches and business meetings, I'm sure even our president would be grateful for a good bowl of ramen. That wraps up this news update. All images used are for illustration purposes only. The news sources for this update include SABC News, News 24, Times Live, and Eyewitness News.